Hello, good evening. It's Wednesday the 29th of June. Welcome to tonight's Look North. Back at work after 6 months at home on full pay. Sheffield City Council's rule-breaking partygoer Kate Josephs says sorry.
All I can do to demonstrate, I hope, to the people of Sheffield who I care most about that I am sorry is by saying it.
She does get a written warning. We'll also be finding out your thoughts. Also tonight, the parents of a young girl living with a rare form of epilepsy call for improved care. Getting snippy with it, the family-run scissor factory now in its 11th generation. And one broadcasting legend salutes another. Sir Michael Parkinson remembers our friend Harry Gratian.
I think the nice thing about a friendship such as I had with Harry was that whenever I think of him, I smile. I think that's the nicest thing.
Hello, hope you're well this evening. There's been a lot of talk recently about getting back to the office, and for one council employee, it's the first day back after 6 months on full paid leave, while a committee investigated her behaviour. This is Kate Josephs, and she's the relatively new Chief Executive of Sheffield City Council. Before that, she was the head of the COVID task force, and when she left on the 17th of December 2020, she went to a party. Of course, that was the time when socialising in groups was against the rules. On the 14th of January this year, as allegations about parties in Westminster were circulating, she was placed on leave on full pay, what's believed to be a salary of £201,000 a year, while an investigation took place and a committee decided what to do. She's used social media to apologise. Today it was announced she's coming back to work with a written warning. Heidi Tomlinson is in Sheffield for us now. Heidi, it's all yours.
Well, Kate Joseph has returned today with a tail between her legs. She's been at home for 6 months on full pay, whilst councillors here in Sheffield decided if she could come back or not. It all relates to that leaving party she held in Whitehall in December 2020, when around 20 people attended, drinking wine and eating pizza. And as a result of that, today she's been issued with a written warning. She's also revealed that she received a fixed penalty notice. Today she's back in her role. She says she's deeply sorry and she wants more than anything to regain the trust and respect of people living here.
All I can do to demonstrate, I hope, to the people of Sheffield who I care most about that I am sorry is by saying it, by listening and by not brushing this under the carpet.
So you were Director General of the COVID task force. At what point did you think it was okay to hold a party just because you had a new job?
I'm not going to make excuses for the mistake that was made. A number of colleagues in the COVID task force participated in, decided and felt that it was appropriate at the time, felt that it was consistent with the regulations. That was clearly a mistake.
So there were hundreds of people dying at that point without their families by their sides, and yet you all decided it was okay to have a party.
I completely understand and empathise personally as a human being with the pain and the hurt and the loss that all of us have experienced during the COVID pandemic. It has been hard on so many levels for so many people, and it breaks my heart that the mistake I made and the actions that I took have brought back that pain for people.
Well, the Chief Executive also recognises that she's got bridges to build with colleagues, not least so the leader of the council, Terry Fox. He says that he's been deeply disappointed by Kate Joseph's actions. He shares the anger and upset felt by some Sheffielders about the choices she made. And he says those feelings don't just go away overnight. So he's not going to forgive and forget easily. What about the people living here?
We've heard the same thing all about Boris Johnson and everything. A lot of people think he should have resigned, including me. So I guess it's a similar story for her.
People's lives shouldn't end because of mistakes they made. She just needs to prove that she actually regrets it.
And people are asking for people to resign everywhere because rules are rules. She should resign.
If she's learned from her mistake, that's not enough, you know. People who are in authority should lead by example.
Well, like it or not, Kate Josephs is still the Chief Executive here of Sheffield City Council, and she will no doubt be in charge of some very important projects in the future. But by far her biggest challenge will be to regain the trust and the respect of people and colleagues in Sheffield.
It certainly will. That's going to take some time. Heidi, thank you. Next tonight, a Sheffield couple whose 4-year-old daughter has Dravet syndrome, a rare life-limiting form of epilepsy, is backing a UK-wide campaign to raise awareness of the condition to help improve diagnosis and care. Carrie and Adam Podmore are among those helping charity Dravet Syndrome UK to spread the word. Our health correspondent Jamie Coulson has this.
Where are the cars? Good girl, well done. I love her unconditionally. She's everything. We wouldn't change her for the world. I wouldn't change anything about her, apart from I would take away the suffering that she has to endure. Right, Penny, I'm just going to put your glasses on. There you go. So these are the glasses that she wears to reduce seizure activity.
Penny Podmore has Dravet syndrome, a severe form of epilepsy characterised by frequent and prolonged seizures, learning disability and other associated conditions including autism. Now 4, she had her first seizure when she was 6 months old and has regularly needed life-saving hospital care.
She's gone through so much. She's gone through so many seizures. She's spent a lot of time in intensive care, a lot of time in resus, in hospital. Good girl. When she was younger, she would have lots of big seizures and not so many of the smaller ones. Now as she's getting older, she's having much more of the myoclonic seizures, which are sort of the eye flickers, rolls, and she's probably having between 30 and 40 of those in a day. These are Penny's daily meds, so she takes these first thing in the morning and last thing at night.
Everything we do is planned around Penny and Dravet syndrome. We're only getting to a stage now where we look to go in a bit further afield. When she was younger and she was in the children's 2 and 3 times a week, we'd plan days out with the family around Sheffield Children's Hospital. So this is the pulse oximeter that Penny wears during the night and during seizures and illness. There's a big emphasis around a condition called SUDEP, which is sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. Children with Dravet, I think they have an 80% chance of making it to adulthood, which you can look at 2 ways. You can say, well, 2 out of every 10 children aren't going to make it to adulthood, or you can look at 8 out of 10 are going to make it to adulthood. In the morning, I still open the door slowly and wait for her to sort of make a noise before I go in, because the fear is that one day Adam's going to go to work and I'm going to have to deal with that on my own. Really.
She eating it?
Dravet syndrome occurs in 1 in every 15,000 births in the UK. It is a life-limiting condition, but early diagnosis can lead to effective treatment and better quality of life.
She's in her own little world at times, but she is a happy little girl. It's took a long time to get here, but we feel like we're in a place where she's quite comfortable at the minute. She's had lots of needles and bloods and lots of pain, but she does seem to come out the other side, and she is a very happy little girl. She melts your heart. As a little girl, she melts your heart, and yeah, it's good.
Oh, what a lovely little girl Penny is. Really difficult for the family to have to take all that on. Earlier I spoke with Galia Wilson from the Dravet Syndrome UK. I asked her how Dravet differed from other forms of epilepsy.
Dravet syndrome is a very severe form of epilepsy. The way it differs really is it's a lifelong condition. People are not going to outgrow it. And the seizures in the first year of life are really very prolonged. They're very, very prolonged and often triggered by febrile or fever.
We've heard as well with Penny, it can have a real impact on family life and also create other issues as well, can't it? What sort of treatment is available for people like her?
The good news is there are new treatments available. They're coming through all the time, and there's lots of research being done into Dravet syndrome. I think one of the reasons is it's such a severe form of epilepsy, which really encompasses a lot of other comorbidities or other side effects. But there are new medications coming through and lots of trials that are being done in Dravet syndrome.
What's the prognosis for people with Dravet syndrome?
The prognosis is different in everybody. What I would say, the one thing I would say for everybody really with Dravet syndrome is they will not live independently. And that's the only thing you can say is it's different for everybody. Seizures will be there throughout their lives, but they will never live independently.
In terms of support, what's available for the families?
So at Dravet Syndrome UK, we offer a lot of support. Families are at the heart of everything we do. We offer nighttime monitoring systems. We offer educational conferences. And recently, just last weekend, we took a group of families, there were 60 families to Centre Parks for a weekend away, where these families got to meet each other for the first time. And really, we do everything we do is research, we do education and family support.
Danny Wilson, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
South Yorkshire Fire Service is warning people about the dangers of lithium-ion batteries causing scrapyard fires. Now, every year, 200 fires nationally are caused by batteries heating up and setting waste alight. Firefighters are asking us to be careful about how we dispose of them. Tom Ingle reports.
Smoke billows from a recent scrapyard fire in Mexborough. The cause is still under investigation, but for firefighters it's a familiar routine. It can take days, even weeks to manage these incidents, and they can be caused by a moment's thoughtlessness.
Under normal conditions, lithium-ion batteries are perfectly safe, but when they are irresponsibly recycled, get thrown away and enter the waste chain, lithium-ion batteries, if they're crushed, pierced, cracked, dropped, there's an effect called thermal runaway, and this is where they self-heat and can ignite the materials around them.
Lithium-ion batteries are in so many household objects these days, from the obvious, like electronics, to the more obscure, like greetings cards. A 2021 report suggests almost half of all waste site fires are started by accidentally crushed batteries. That's 201 fires every year across the UK. The economy is taking a hit of £158 million. That's the cost of fighting the fires themselves and cleaning up the environment afterwards.
A lot of the recycling centres have got pretty stringent facilities in place to detect these batteries. However, if we as consumers are throwing your toys, your e-cigs, your telephones, laptops away, and they're entering normal waste, that thermal runaway can happen at any stage. So it could happen in your bin, it could happen in the waste truck, or it could happen on site.
The cost and damage aside, a fire that puts a waste site out of action adds a strain to other local facilities. The fire service want us all to take more care. Even a small battery getting crushed can cause chaos. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North.
Gosh, you'd have thought. Let's bring you some news in brief now. West Yorkshire Police say they've made a number of arrests after a 20-year-old woman in Bradford went missing. Samaya Begum was last seen at her home on Binney Street on Saturday afternoon. She's Asian, of slim build with black hair. She was last seen wearing black jeans and a top, a black headscarf. The government has extended tariffs on some categories of imported steel for another 2 years. The International Trade Secretary admitted the decision could go against World Trade Organization rules, but said it was justified to protect jobs. Steelmaking is a key industry in South Yorkshire and employs 33,000 people nationally. Now, on regional telly, we are quite used to cats getting stuck up trees, but the RSPCA in Rotherham has been called to the rescue of a hedgehog who was caught in a bit of a pickle over the weekend. The poor creature was spotted stuck between the bars of a garden gate. The RSPCA officer managed to gently remove the hedgehog. Oh, look at it, so cute, and safely release it uninjured and very happy to the bottom of the garden. Oh, we're glad it ended well. Next tonight, you've probably never thought about how they're made, but the parts of everyday life. We're constantly losing scissors in our house. Still going strong in Sheffield is Whitley's. Founded in 1760, it supplies scissors across the world. It's a family-run firm now in its 11th generation, and every pair of these is handmade. Ian White has been finding out how.
Sparks fly as a tradition that's gone on for hundreds of years continues at Whiteley's Scissor Factory in Sheffield. Sally Ward is the 11th generation running this family firm.
It's been in the family so long, and actually a lot of it's really fascinating. And the people you meet who want the special scissors to do this, that and the other special things, that's all really interesting.
What woman can do without her scissors?
These are scissor blanks being forged. Each scissor is still handmade, assembled and tested by craftsmen. Their skills have been honed and handed down over centuries.
Then these are open at point, so these want pulling, as you can see, to bring these like that, which is what we do on here.
Andrew, you met, he's been with us since he was like 15, so he's the oldest and been here the longest.
Brings them point to point. And a pair of scissors into the light, they should touch one place all the way down. That one just wants tapping at point.
Here there are industrial scissors of all kinds being made.
Nail scissors, embroidery scissors, which are small, tiny like this, and we make some that are like up to 14 inches for tailor shears, big tailor shears.
Around the factory are stunning examples of specially made scissors, like these for Queen Victoria.
There's the showcase of the scissors that were sent to the Great Exhibition in 1851 in London at the Crystal Palace. And also we have framed over there our official trademark from 1760, which is just a little piece of lead with our 332 trademark.
So could modern technology replace the old traditional methods?
I don't think you could make scissors with computers because we do so many different patterns, edges, shapes.
So if you ever see a Whiteley's scissor, you're holding a little bit of history. Ian White, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
A great story. We're going to throw to Oggy now and sport. He's in Barnsley tonight. Lots of people with bows and arrows. Are you sure this got through the BBC risk assessment, Oggy?
Only just. It's a good job. They're talented and very careful about what they do, Amy. It's a real centre of sporting excellence. Shore Lane, of course, here in Barnsley. Cricket, the Rugby Union Club is here, squash, and Barnsley Archery Club, which features two medal winners from recent times for Archery GB. I'm going to talk to Izzy and Adam Carpenter, brother and sister, very shortly. Let me tell you first about today's big sporting story away from here. The former head coach of Yorkshire County Cricket Club, Andrew Gale, has posted today on social media his first public comments about the racism scandal which saw him and other individuals charged by the ECB. In his post, Andrew Gale said that he will not be engaging with the ECB disciplinary process. This after he won a claim of unfair dismissal against Yorkshire after being sacked along with 15 other staff members. But he will not be engaging with the ECB disciplinary process because he has no faith in it. Andrew Gale also denies allegations that he bullied or used racist language and refutes the allegation that Yorkshire County Cricket Club is institutionally racist. To happier matters, here at Barnsley Archery Club, they're celebrating the success of a brother and sister. The Carpenters. Izzy Carpenter, a double European champion in Munich recently. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For your efforts in a sport, Izzy, which I still suspect is a little minority and underappreciated. How do you feel about that?
I'd agree with you. It is a minority sport and we're aware of that, and anything we can do, such as today, is brilliant in order to help us promote our sport and to make people realise that we're out here and we're doing really well.
A source of frustration to you, no doubt, that archery isn't going to be included in the Commonwealth Games, but it's very inclusive as a sport, and there's a recent example in your career from that, isn't there?
Yes, there is. So when I was out in Munich, Germany for the European Championships, where we won gold as a team, one of my two team members, I was with Ella Gibson and also Jessica Stretton, who is the recent Paralympic champion, and she shoots from a wheelchair on the line, which is probably the most inclusive sport you can get, where two people, able-bodied and disabled, can shoot together.
Not many sports you can say that about. Among 16,000 active archers, you think, in Yorkshire, which is a flabbergasting statistic. Congratulations as well. We'll let you crack on, by the way, Izzy. Congratulations to you, younger brother Adam, as well. How did you get into archery, having grown up in Yorkshire where you could have been cricket or football, whatever you liked?
Yeah, so we went to Centre Parks and we basically got into it, so we did a have a go, and then my dad thought, I quite like this, so we all went off and we went to Barnsley Archery Club, so we did a beginner's course, got into it, and then it's all happened from there, so yeah.
And you get, on a personal level, you get out of it much more than just the bronze medal from the World Cup last week.
Oh yeah, massively, yeah. Like I say, Travel is huge. Like it's amazing. So the amount of countries I've been to I'm so lucky and so privileged to be able to do that. So places like Argentina, Turkey, in the States, and recently just got back from Paris.
Well, it sounds good to me. For a young guy like you, I'm very jealous already. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's obviously bringing the medals in, and keep up the great work here at Barnsley Archery Club. What they do here is something I'd like you to appreciate as we hand back to you, Amy. This, thanks to Kieran, is how it's done.
Wowzers. Did it hit the target though? We're not quite sure, are we? On days like today, wouldn't it be lovely to throw on a wetsuit, grab a surfboard and enjoy the sea? Well, for those with physical barriers, that's not so easy. The Wave Project in Scarborough has been offering surf therapy for young people since 2016. I've been to meet double amputee Angel, who's trying to catch a wave for the first time.
Hi Angel, I'm so excited to see you. I can't wait to surf with you.
14-year-old Angel has lived in Scarborough her whole life. She's watched her friend Lily surf many times. Today, they can finally enjoy it together. Angel was born with a genetic condition, and by the age of 6, both her feet have been amputated. She also has learning difficulties and social anxiety, which makes some activities difficult.
I mean, we have this beautiful, sea on our doorstep, and she does go in the sea, but she's never been able to surf because obviously due to her disabilities, it's quite tricky. But to come down and be able to have a board that's adapted and got that bit of extra support, it's just great.
Matt has been working with the Wave Project in Scarborough for 6 years. They partner with the NHS and charities to offer surfing lessons to young people with behavioural and emotional issues. Now, those with physical barriers can do it too.
We don't like the term disable, we like the term enable, essentially, and that's what we're trying to do, is make sure that everybody can access the sea, whether it's via a wheelchair. If they can't support themselves, maybe we'll have them on the seated board behind us here. It's about breaking those barriers down and ensuring that they can just take part like anybody else can.
With the help of volunteers, Angel is kitted out for her first surf lesson.
It's going to be fun to catch some waves together, right? I'm excited as well.
They start with a seated board, but Angel quickly becomes agitated and wants to leave the water. Matt convinces her to try a different one, this time with support handles. It's not long before she's loving it. This is an adaptive seated board, and actually Angel didn't need to use it today, but this equipment and specially trained instructors here in Scarborough means that for the first time everyone can enjoy the surf.
Oh, you were so good in there. You looked amazing. Well done. Mwah.
Really pleased how that went. Just to see a look on somebody's face when they can do something that they didn't think they could do before, and that realisation actually they can be a surfer, and they're not an adaptive surfer, they're just a surfer like anybody else in the water.
Absolutely incredible. Really was. Lovely to see a big smile on her face. Definitely will be back. That is for sure.
And it was great fun too. Now, all this week we've been reflecting on Harry Grayson's life after the sad and untimely death last Friday. One of Harry's great friends was another well-known Yorkshireman and broadcaster, Michael Parkinson. Today he was kind enough to share his thoughts with us.
It made you feel better about things because he was that kind of man himself. We liked the same things. I mean, Harry loved sport and so did I. Harry loved rugby league, so did I. We used to go together.
Parky!
How are you?
Oh, I wish I could give you a hug.
I think the nice thing about a friendship such as I had with Harry was that whenever I think of him, I smile. I think that's the nicest thing. But, we don't want to lose too many like that. Well, there aren't too many like that to start with.
Can we agree that Yorkshire will win the championship this year?
As ever. Of course they will, Harry.
He had a lovely sense of humour. He was a funny man. He could write well. He was a good journalist. He wrote clearly and he was fearless too. He didn't pull back and let things happen to people. You look at it. I mean, I've been a journalist all my working life now, but I've never had that kind of attachment that he had with the Yorkshire people. It's a different relationship, very enviable.
How long can Parky go on?
I've put in an application to have a chairlift. You know, one of those chairlifts that come down the stairs and walk down. The Thora Herd chairlift. I'm going to come in down. You might have me for a hell of a long time yet, Harry.
He was a very intelligent man. He could actually hide that sometimes by being a bit gormless, just to prove a point. But he was highly intelligent and good at his job. And, you know, as one journalist to another, I admired him greatly. Not many journalists say that about other journalists.
You are to me the iconic Yorkshire lad, and you always will be. You always will be.
Thank you. It's very kind of you, but we're going to miss you, you know. He was a very proud Yorkshireman, and he's a very intelligent man, of course. And he was a teacher in a public school before he came into television, lured in by rugby league, which means it wasn't all bad.
The precondition of coming up here was, could I have a fish and chip supper? No fee, fish and chip supper.
And I'm delighted to say with me is the sexiest pensioner alive. I can't believe this, Michael. I can't believe it.
I think he was content just to do a good job, just to do a job with people who he loved. I mean, he loved the Yorkshire tribe and all that, and that was palpable in everything he did. And they loved him. And I think somehow that's a perfect summing up of a very good man.
Hey, I tell you what, mate, one of the joys of my broadcasting career is you. And you've been a great pal. Thank you very much indeed. I really, really appreciate it.
I've enjoyed our friendship greatly, and I shall and we shall miss you.
Cheers, mate. Love you, Mike. Bye.
In the end, when somebody like a friend of yours dies, and what you remember are the intimate details, if you like, of your relationship, the real friendship bond and all that. And you don't have too many like Harry.
Just lovely. Here's the weather now with Paul Mooney.
Good evening. Well, the pattern for the weather over the next few days, and certainly for tomorrow, is a continuation of the sunshine and showers theme. The reason it's staying unsettled is that low pressure dominates the weather at the minute. A complicated several areas of low pressure spiralling around each other. These old weather fronts enhancing the rainfall from time to time as well. There was certainly enough cloud around today to produce a few showers. Some of those clouds were quite thick and lumpy, but there were some bright spells in between as well. And as we head into the evening, any sharp showers will tend to die away, leaving most of us dry for a time as we head into the night. But through the early hours of the morning, you could see another batch of showery rain drift up from the south. It will be a mild night. The temperatures will stay in double figures, typically down to about 12 Celsius. That's 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Into tomorrow then, those overnight showers clear away, the cloud starts to break up again. We see some sunny spells breaking through, but that in turn will allow the shower clouds to build up again. So a rash of showers again. You can see the bright colours on them, indicating that some of them will be on the heavy side. Wouldn't completely rule out the odd rumble of thunder either. Having said all that, in the brighter spells between the shower clouds, which there will be right through the day, we'll still see the temperatures making 20 Celsius quite easily. That's 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds will be fairly light tomorrow, so if you catch a shower, it could linger for a little while. So what about the outlook? Well, as we head towards and through the weekend, we take some showers with us, sunny spells and scattered showers as we head into the weekend, but gradually becoming drier through Sunday and Monday as high pressure starts to build in from the southwest. Temperatures over the next few days fairly constant, making the high teens quite easily, one or two spots edging into the low 20s, with the winds fairly light, occasionally picking up from time to time, coming from a mild southwest or westerly direction. So that's the unsettled forecast for the next few days.
Well, that's it from us. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.